What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and today we have a interesting little postponement, I guess. What happened, we were supposed to do the match watch along today between the Cayman Islands and the Canadian national team, and the game got postponed. So I'm sure a lot of you guys will be coming around wondering what is going on. So we were, like I said, we're going to do a watch along. Unfortunately, the game has been postponed, so we're going to bring up the statement that Canada posted. We'll read it for you guys. We'll have it up on the screen for you guys. And then we will also be doing now a little preview. So we'll be previewing my predicted lineup, thoughts with you guys. We'll go back and forth and just have a little fun preview. So I guess what you guys are waiting for is to hear why it got postponed. So we will bring up on screen for you guys right now Canada's statement. And I will read it for you guys. You guys can see it as well. And basically, it goes like this. So, Canada Soccer's priority continues to be the health and safety of the players and staff at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 qualifiers. In the absence of appropriate COVID-19 test results for the Cayman Islands, Canada Soccer supports the decision by FIFA to reschedule the Cayman Islands versus Canada match in Group B on March 28th, which was obviously today. It's supposed to be at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and pending COVID-19 protocols being met, the match will be played tomorrow, March 29th at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's obviously some pretty big news, considering that we didn't get the announcement until about, 30 minutes, I guess, before the match actually started. So we will be doing the watch along tomorrow, but I guess until then we wanted to share this with you and do a little preview, get your guys' opinion. And the rest of it says that before each match, teams are required to provide FIFA a negative COVID test, PCR test result for all players and staff taken no earlier than 72 hours prior to accessing the venue. So I'm not sure, because it said it's going to come from the Cayman Island players, so I'm assuming someone didn't meet that guideline, or they came late or within the 72 hours, so they didn't know exactly what to do, and they decided to, I guess, push it back a day. So I guess we'll be playing it tomorrow. It's going to be, I guess, debating on whether the Cayman Islands can actually pass their test or not, but we will have to wait and see what you guys are saying today. He said he's late again. I'm sorry I was a little bit late, guys, but we had to come up with some graphics, so now we're going to turn it into a little match preview for you guys. So hopefully that'll be fun, but yeah, it is disappointing. I was looking really forward to watching the game today. I was getting very excited, hoping to meet a bunch more fellow Canadians, but we didn't do a match preview, and I guess we got a little blessing in disguise that way, that we can do one with you guys today, talk about my predicted starting 11, what we think about the game, talk about some other results in our group, and do something along the lines of that. But basically, it was pretty breaking news, the fact that the game did get postponed. It doesn't seem like anyone actually got COVID-19 from what I've read. It just seems the fact that the Cayman Islands didn't do the proper protocols to get the results in time, which is why it got pushed basically a day. So that was Canada's official statement. The game will be, as far as we know, played tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and until then, we hope for the best, because if there is obviously a negative result, that's going to put, a big question mark on what actually is going to happen here. But we got a few of you guys in the chat. Ross Barkley's here, of course he is. And yeah, CM Punk asked why it was postponed, as we just discussed. Yeah, kind of sucks, man. Kind of sucks. I was really looking forward to it, but it's okay. We can do it tomorrow night. No big deal. Yusuf here says, rest in peace. Well, I'll get to stream it now if it's tomorrow. Well, there you go, my man. 1-0. Got a prediction for 1-0. Romania, park the bus. Come on, Germany. Yes, let's go to our German supporters here. Canada would have won 7-0 today. I'd agree. We'll get into it. We'll get into my predicted starting 11. We'll get into your guys' predictions. So any of you guys watching want to give a prediction on what you guys thought the game would kind of be like, you guys can feel free to do that. We're going to bring up my predicted starting 11, and I'd like to get your guys' opinions on it. And now we're going to turn it a little bit from the match postponement section of this stream into the match preview, because now we are, I guess, lucky enough to be able to preview the game before tomorrow. But we'll start off, as I'll just give you guys a little update on the table. And Suriname played yesterday or today. When did they play? They played yesterday against Aruba, and they won 6-0. So they are by far our biggest challengers, what it seems to be in our group. Cayman Islands lost their first match 3-0. Bermuda lost to us 5-1, and Aruba lost to Suriname 6-0. So So there's some pretty big score lines with the bottom three. We kind of had a feeling that Suriname would probably be the only competition we really had in our group, and they haven't really disappointed. They've scored 9 goals in two matches, and really shown Canada is going to have to bring their A game when we take them on in a few weeks' time. But I don't know too much about the Cayman Islands, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna pretend I know a whole wide range about what's going on with the Cayman Islands, but I'm here to discuss, you know, Canada's side with us. So, looking at the group right now, we are 1-0, and Cayman Islands are 0-1. They've had 3 goals against, we've scored 5 and had 1 against. So, on paper, we should be a stronger team. Obviously, there's not a big debate there. But we're gonna go into the starting 11 and kind of see what we're thinking there. If Cayman Islands failed to provide COVID results, I'm surprised FIFA or CONCACAF doesn't punish them by giving them a loss. It's a good point. I'm not sure what's gonna happen behind the scenes. I haven't seen it quite like this. Usually when something like this happens that creates a postponement of the match, it's because someone actually had a negative result. And if there's a negative result, then obviously it has to get postponed. There's not usually punishment, but that is a good point that you brought up, and I guess we'll have to wait and see, man. This game may not be played. I don't 100% know. Sucks for people who bought the one-day pass on One Soccer. I saw that on Canada's Instagram during the announcement that people were saying that that they bought the one-day pass. Will they extend it? I thought that was funny. But anyways, we'll get into the preview. I want to see what your guys' opinions are on our predicted starting 11. So this is my predicted starting 11 for the match against the Cayman Islands, and why fix what's not broke. I'm going to look at doing the same kind of formation. I hope Herdman goes with that, the 4-4-2. And I thought it was a big deal because when I was thinking of where Alphonso Davies was going to fit in this system and kind of seeing what Herdman used to do with our starting 11, he sometimes played Davies a little centrally. He had him up in the midfield. He definitely liked playing a 3-back formation, which I was never a big fan of when watching the national team, is because, in my opinion, you know, the center back position isn't our strongest, so I would prefer a 4-back formation. And then I didn't know where to put Davies. Do you put him way up in a 4-3-3, have him play up on the winger? Do you play him as a wing back? That's kind of would be nice, but I do like what Herdman did with the 4-4-2. I think it definitely creates a little bit of opportunity for Davies to track back if he really wanted to and help out if the game leads to that way, but it also gives him a lot of opportunity to go forward. So this is what we basically played with in our opening match against Bermuda, which we won 5-1, and this is the same formation I'd like to see us go for it again. In net, we have Milan Borjan, who's no surprise. I mean, he did have an error, and it was a very poor error on his part. There's no denying that, but all in all, he is our starter. It was a match that didn't really matter. He's going to have to obviously not make those kind of mistakes when it happens to a game that matters, but all in all, he's going to be between the sticks. Right back, Richie Larea will be there. He had an excellent game, scored the goal. He was kind of all over the place. I really liked the energy he had in this squad, and I'm hoping for good things with him going forward. In our 2 center back positions, I'm happy with both of them, and that's Steven Vittoria, and as well as Kamal Miller. Miller was one I didn't know exactly where he was going to play. He usually plays out as a left back. He actually came in. He looks good. He's got the body frame for a center back, in my opinion. Relatively quick, worked very well with Vittoria. I am very happy with the way our center backs are going there. With, of course, our left back, Sam Adekubi had an excellent game as well. He's a very strong left back to have, which gives us the opportunity to push Davies up. And then that's our midfield. On the right side, we have Junior Hoylett. No surprise there. He's been in the national team for a while now. He's played good on that right-hand side. We have Atiba Hutchinson, our skipper right now. He had an excellent game, man. You can see just the quality Atiba has, even at the 10-year age of 37. He's been doing very, very, very well as there. And Ezequiel was one that really impressed me, man. He's having an excellent season in Liga NOS. He actually is being linked to Porto, and that would be a huge move for him to be able to go up to one of the best clubs, obviously, in Liga NOS. He's showing he can do it. He's good with the language there, and I was very impressed to see how he's doing with Atiba Hutchinson. I very, very much like those two in the center of the park, and I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing going forward. Which then leaves on the left-hand side Alphonso Davies, who, again, he was absolute dynamite. It shows that he's cut from another cloth right now. It shows what he can do, why he's playing for the world champions. He absolutely has to be on the left-hand side, and that's exactly where he will be. With the 2 strikers, Kyle Larin, again, our hat-trick hero. He will be playing as a striker today alongside Lucas Cavallini. And that is my predicted starting 11 for hopefully tomorrow's matchup between the Cayman Islands. I see some of you guys mentioning where is Jonathan David, and different countries, different leagues have different COVID protocols. Unfortunately for us, Jonathan David was not released from Lille, which is why he's not in my predicted starting 11. It's why he didn't play in the match against Bermuda, which gives Lucas Cavallini a good opportunity to try to right the wrong. As a lot of you guys might have noticed, his opening match was not very strong for us. He took a lot of opportunities and butchered pretty much every one of them. And it was a very poor performance, but it's okay. I mean, he's got a great goal-scoring record for Canada. He just got to get a little bit of the rust off of his boot. And it's an interesting squad because you're going to have some players on this Canada squad that are from the MLS and some that are playing in Europe. And if you're playing in the MLS, like Cavallini is for the Whitecaps, he has not played in a while, which means that he's not coming back into top form. And that's what the equivalent I was trying to make between Cavallini as well as Larin, is that Kyle Larin is playing right now for Besiktas, and he's doing absolutely fantastic. He's in the form of his life, and you could tell every time the ball was on his foot, he was calm, he was cool, scored a hat trick, which obviously stems to how talented the man is. And then there's Cavallini, who hasn't played in a while for the MLS. He wasn't arguably in the best form for Vancouver regardless, and the amount of opportunities that he had were ridiculous that he didn't put one in the back of the net. But he is a decent striker for Canada. He has a great goal scoring record, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets back on the right foot against the match against the Cayman Islands. So you guys can let me know what you guys think about this starting 11, and yeah, we'll see what's going on. Okay, good. We got some help on the way I'm pronouncing Justa. I have no idea how you're pronouncing that, James. I'm gonna have to look at it. I'm assuming you're talking about Estaquio, which is how I was pronouncing it. Justa? Yo, I'll have to look it up. I thought I was pronouncing Estaquio, which maybe I'm not. But either way, James, I will look into it. But does Liga have a problem with letting French players go? No, but that's part of the problem is because they're staying within Europe. There is the restriction of letting a player go was because he was going to North America, and there was a quarantine issue. The French U21s are playing, the national team players are playing, so a lot of the players who were playing within Europe were allowed to be released. Unfortunately, players who were playing in North America, I think even for the States, if Tactical Manager's still here, I'm not sure if Weah or any of them got released. I'm assuming not, because they would have to require a quarantine period, which unfortunately for us, restricted us having Jonathan David, because if Jonathan David was in that game yesterday, or the game on Thursday against Bermuda, it probably would have been probably 7 or 8, man. Like, Cavallini had so many glorious opportunities to put the ball in the net, and unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to take them. But I don't know, guys, what do you think of this starting 11? Because this, to me, is a tasty looking starting 11 going into a match against the Cayman Islands where we should be absolutely dominant. We have, like I said, a good mix of players. A lot of the players will be playing in Europe, which is great. It's a good understanding seeing where our national team is going. To me, it's very encouraging. A lot of these players, and I'm going to do a video soon of my best Canada men's national team 11, and most of the players are playing around Europe, which is very cool to see. And I'm really excited to hopefully be able to watch the game tomorrow. I'm sorry for all you guys out there who did purchase the one-day One Soccer. I guess I don't know. Maybe you can upgrade to the month. It's an extra $2. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Weah wasn't allowed to go. Neither was Tyler Adams, and I think the one other player. So, and that makes sense, because if you're a team like Leipzig challenging for the title, if you're a team like Lille challenging for the title, you're going to be very restricted to allow some of your national team players to go play for the States, Canada, Mexico, whoever it may be, knowing the fact that there's a restriction. And maybe not Mexico, because I'm pretty sure Lozano is playing. So it's whatever countries, again, it is that have that quarantine period. It does make sense, and I definitely don't hold it against Lille by any means. I mean, hopefully we're able to take a big win against the Cayman Islands. We go 2-0 in the group, and we're laughing. But the team on paper right here is my predicted starting 11. If you guys have anyone you guys think maybe should come in, and arguably if I'm looking at one player to replace, it would be Cavallini, given the fact that he didn't have the best effort, I guess, against the Bermuda game. But I do like what he's done for the Canada men's national team. And at least the way you could look at it in the Bermuda game, he was definitely having a good effort, like position wise. He got a lot of the ball, but unfortunately he just wasn't able to put it in the back of the net, which it'll come. I think he give him another shot against Cayman Islands. I'd be surprised if Cavallini didn't score. But yeah, the Cayman Islands didn't provide COVID results in time. It's from what I read. You have to get them 72 hours ahead of time. They were either late for some reason or another. And yeah, it does suck. But we do have another big game coming today, and that is the Mexico versus Canada U23 game. So if you guys did not know that, if you win that, Canada is in the Olympics. So that would be cool. We'll be able to cheer them on. Hopefully see our U23 men make it to the Olympics. Catalina's here and says, yo, Josh, you should be ready for Mexico versus Canada match later on. I'm also looking forward to seeing who wins and punches the ticket to Tokyo, Japan. Yeah, that'll be another fun game. Hopefully Canada can do it. The Mexican team, in my opinion, is the team of the tournament so far. They have a strong team. I would have liked to be able to get a result against Honduras, which Space Taco, or no, not Space Taco, who said that? Who said we didn't beat? Yeah, oh, James did. James says it sucks we didn't beat Honduras, and yes, it did. Because if we were able to beat Honduras, we would have took on the States. I think the Canadian and the States team has a very similar team. I think it would have been a good matchup, a very tight affair. I'm worried about this Mexico team. I'm assuming that the Canada U23 team is going to sit back, try to hit on the counter, defend well. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Why was it postponed? Sorry, I came late. Yeah, it was postponed just due to... And I don't know the full story, but it sounds like the Cayman Islands just didn't get their COVID results in time. So instead of doing the match watch along today, we will be doing it tomorrow. So hopefully we'll see a lot of your guys' friendly faces there. And today we were turning into a little match preview as well as to talk about the postponement. So we talked about the postponement. It sucks. I was looking forward to the game, but like I said, we can do it tomorrow. I have the year subscription to One Soccer, so I guess it didn't really affect me too much, and that is the starting 11 that I want to see. I thought the guys played very good together. I think it's going to be very important getting a lot of matches in and try to build some chemistry between the starting 11. We are missing two key players. As you guys know, Jonathan David and Scott Arnfield were not in the camp due to different reasons. But all in all, for not playing together pretty much, and I say this pretty much ever because it's not this exact same squad has been playing together. A lot of different players have been breaking out in different ways. It'll be interesting. I hope that they can play together as long as they can, get a lot of minutes together, and hopefully build some chemistry going forward. So what time will the game be on? The game got postponed to tomorrow. So it was supposed to be played today at 4 p.m. and instead it will be played tomorrow at 6 p.m. So we will be doing the match watch along. It is going to be a day later. Yeah, it was pretty last minute. I'm pretty sure it's about 30 minutes before the match. It got posted on Canada's Instagram, which is where we saw it. And yeah, kind of a bummer, but Kevin says, is David injured? He is not injured. He did not get released from Lille. Due to quarantine reasons, he did not get released, which is why he was not in the camp. And Scott Arnfield, I believe, didn't want to come because of personal reasons. I believe he wanted to stay with his family and focus on the rest of the season with the Rangers. But that's what I took it. So that's why Scott Arnfield and Jonathan David, who were two huge players who weren't in the starting 11. And the other two bigger names are probably, if you're wondering where they are, they're in the U23 team. Derek Cornelius is another one to obviously wonder there. David and Lauren up front will be nasty. It will. And we're going to be doing a fun video. We're going to have a video coming out this week that's going to be my predicted best starting 11. And I don't know where I'm going to go with it. I mean, definitely having David up front will be one. That's just obvious. But it would be pretty cool. I'm excited to do that. Try to pick up my best 11. See what you guys think about it as well. That will be a video. David wasn't injured. The French league rules, absolutely. Osorio, yes. Our TFC boy. TFC boy. He did not make the squad as well. We are having depth. And that's something we haven't had in the Canadian men's national team for a long time now. It's simply just having a wide range of players. Seeing some of the breakout players, it is pretty cool. And they had an absolute dominant performance against Bermuda, and I'm assuming they're going to follow it up with a dominant performance against Cayman Islands. So, if you guys, before we wrap this up, want to toss in some of your guys' predictions. I saw a few of them. I mean, I don't see Cayman Islands having any better of a go than Bermuda did. So, I don't think they're going to get lucky. I don't think Borussia is going to drop the ball like that again. So, my guess is probably 6-0. I know that's maybe a stretch, but I think the fact that this team just came together the way that they did and was able to put up a huge 5-1 effort against Bermuda was absolutely sensational stuff to see. And I bet you any money that after that first game, after having this training camp together, it'll be pretty cool to see them doing it again. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. If you guys are new around this channel, feel free to subscribe and drop a like on your way out. we'll have a special guest about Canada men's national team coming on after he returns. He's actually with the Canada men's national team now, and that is Stephen Cadwell, the assistant manager there. So it'll be pretty cool to talk to him about the team, see what he's thinking about it, and how basically the last couple games were. But I'm very, very much hoping so that the game will actually be played tomorrow, because it would suck. It'd be suck. It's hard to fit in some of these games if there is a postponement, but hopefully everything's okay with the Cayman Island players. No actual COVID tests come back as a positive, and we'll be good to go for tomorrow. Is Buchanan good enough for the World Cup qualifying rosters? I believe he is. I think that he's a fantastic young player. It's hard to know because he sometimes can play as a right back, right wing back, right midfielder, so it's kind of hard to see where you want to put him. Right now, our two right backs is Richie Larea, who had a fantastic game, and we also have Alistair Johnson from Nashville, and he's a fantastic young right back. I honestly was maybe going to give him the nod if I was going to do a preview before the Bermuda game. I kind of thought that Alistair Johnson was going to get the start, but I mean, I got proven wrong. Richie Larea had a fantastic game, and he's definitely, in my opinion, should be playing in the game against the Cayman Islands. But Buchanan is a fantastic young player, and if he keeps performing like he is for his club team as well as for the U23s, he should have a huge opportunity to be able to come in here, especially due to his versatility. I hope the current team qualify because the World Cup happens. I'd like to see Scott and David play. Yeah, I would too. I would too, man. It's gonna be hard. It's like this qualification process is gonna be an insane one. Not only do we have to get through the first round, and I mean, if you look at some of the other teams like Aruba, Bermuda, and Cayman Islands, those are probably pretty big wins we'll be able to pick up. But that Suriname team, man, it's an interesting team. They got a lot of players that they're recruiting that have that Dutch nationalities that are coming over, and their team does look a little bit better than it has, especially over the years. I always see YouTube videos of what would that team look like if all players actually who could represent them did, and they had some fantastic players on there. But they will definitely be our biggest competition, and when we beat them, hopefully, we'll move on to the next and final round where we'll be taking on the States, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and the top four. We'll have to move on, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we do there, and hopefully we're gonna be able to get in, because that'd be nothing more I'd like to see than watch our country represent us at Canada, man. Like, it'd be fantastic. On top of the fact that if we're able to sneak into the 2022 one, we are automatic shoo-ins because we're hosting a tournament in 2026. So that'd be back-to-back World Cups for Canada, which would just help this country grow the sport even further than it is. I think that Hutchinson was only available for the first game. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I don't know. I'm not sure, James, where you heard that. But that would be interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure why he'd only be available for one game. Probably like 4 or 5-0 for Canada. Yeah, I'd say. It's a brutal road. Got to get through Suriname and Haiti most likely, and then battle with 7 good teams for a top 4 spot. Yeah, and if you're looking at some of the top spots in the CONCACAF, man, you're obviously looking at the United States, Mexico are the 2 big ones, and then I think it's pretty. I mean, it's hard to tell again because like our team is just finally getting together, finally seeing what these boys can do, and I think a lot of people who maybe didn't follow them very closely are surprised at some of the talent that Canada actually has, especially spread out across Europe. So I mean, in my opinion, man, this team can absolutely get into top 4. It's just whether we can actually do it on the day. Because the other 2 big teams is Jamaica, who's recruiting a lot of players, especially from England. You guys have probably seen that. Costa Rica's always has a good squad. Honduras has got a decent squad as well as ours. So it will be a brutal road ahead, and we will be here to cover it, talk to our fellow Canadians, and just hope that we can pull this thing off because it would be absolutely incredible. Who cares about COVID anymore? If you get it, you get it. This will go on forever. Yeah, man, it's hard to know exactly what's going on for there. But that's interesting. Okay, Atiba flew back already. It was an agreement with Besiktas, apparently. So, I did not know that. So that'll be interesting. So who do you guys think will start beside Ezequiel in the game tomorrow if Hutchinson is out? That is interesting. And good on Atiba, I guess, for coming even for one match. He's getting close to that all-time cap record for us. I think he's at 85 now, and the record is 89 from Julian de Guzman. So probably David, yeah. Well, yeah, David Watersman's probably or maybe Kai, Mark Anthony Kai. Well, either or, both good center midfielders. I like watching Kai and that LAFC team, man. They're absolutely so much fun to watch. We got We got someone coming in here with, I'm assuming, a link, but unfortunately the game's not there. All these people are worried about health, and they eat Wonder Bread, Kraft Dinner, Timmy's, and Coca-Cola. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's a touchy subject, but I mean, it's the world we live in now, so it's hard to really understand what's going to happen and when we're going to be able to kind of put this behind us. And hopefully, you know, it'll be sooner rather than later, but... Probably Kai steps in. Yeah, man, that's probably who I mean, I'm a big fan of Kai. He plays for a fantastic LAFC team, and I think he'd do a good job. He didn't even play a single minute, so that is a good shout. I wouldn't be surprised to see him as well. US has good players. Probably Des and Pulisic are top 2. I'd say Weston McKennie's probably in the top 2 for me, followed by Pulisic and Des, given on current form. Pulisic is usually good form for the States, but he's not been in very good form for Chelsea at the moment. Yeah, I'd probably go with Kai. If I'm picking one, I'd probably go with Kai, given the fact that he didn't play a single minute against Bermuda. He is a fantastic player, and I don't know, it's tough. There's a couple good looks. He got his 50th appearance. Mississauga, Croatia could beat Cayman Islands. I say Canada versus Mexico is going to be 2-1 win for Canada. That would be incredible, man. And as like I said, a lot of you guys probably know, the winner of the semifinals, like the final absolutely really doesn't matter. Whoever wins the 2 semifinals gets the spots at the Olympics, which is very cool. And then they pretty much battle it out for pride. And I mean, you want to win this tournament because it'd be very cool. But did you watch the Germany game? I watched bits and pieces of it. Didn't see the ending yet, so I don't know the final score. So if you guys want to tell me what it is, that's totally okay. Hey Josh, which Canadian MLS player has potential to move to Europe in your opinion? That is a good question. Dustin, how you doing? Dustin is the producer from Tactical Manager TV. You guys met Filippo when he came on for our last watch along. I mean, for me, in my opinion, Marc-Anthony Kaye is probably the one that pops out to me. It's hard though because he is getting a little bit older. He is 25 right now, which is not like a young player making that move. Alistair Johnson's a good, talented young right back. Could potentially make that move as well. Derek Cornelius for Vancouver Whitecaps. He's captaining the U23 team right now. Those are probably 3 that come to mind. But it's hard on age, and if Kai's going to make that move, he should probably make it sooner rather than later. But he's playing for a very talented LAFC team. I think he really enjoys it there, so I really don't see him ever taking that step to Europe. I don't think we know who or which confederations play each other for the interconferential playoffs. Do we know until the qualifiers are over? I actually don't know. That's an excellent question. I can't remember how it went, because I remember the States missed out on qualifications, and then I think Panama beat whoever was in the confederational one. But I'll have to look into that. If any of you guys know the answer to that question, you guys can let us know as well. You should definitely get verified on here. Well, that's what we're here for. It's what we're here for. It's been a lot of fun to cover our national team. And if you guys were with us during the first watch along, it was wild, man. It was wild. And I'm hoping that the one tomorrow will be just as fun. It's a shame. I was really looking forward. I was waking up today just absolutely fired up to hopefully be able to cover the team. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm wearing my 1986 Canada golf shirt I bought 35 years ago. I need to go out and get a Canada one. I was calling around. It sucks because I live in a very small town, so I was calling some of the local just sportwear store, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get one. So I'm gonna have to go for a decent drive for me to get one. So we'll have to wait and see here. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much probably all we're gonna do for today's preview. If you did just come to the channel, you guys can hopefully subscribe. We will be doing the watch along tomorrow. My dear, when does the game start? So the game was supposed to be played today at 4 o'clock, man. And unfortunately, because of COVID testing not being followed correctly from the Cayman Island players, the game got postponed. It will be played tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And it'll be interesting to see. But we'll address a couple more questions, then we'll wrap up our today's preview. The U.S. is the weakest they have been in 30 years. If the U.S. used Michael Bradley against Cayman Islands, they would lose. I don't know about that. I think this is arguably one of the best United States teams that we've seen in a while. We got a lot of good young players coming up, but it's a very different team. I think it's one of the Oceania teams, one South American team, and one Asia team, and one CONCACAF team, and they get a draw. So if that's the case, and it is a draw, because I do believe you're right, and I believe Panama, correct me if I'm wrong, in the last one, when they got that last spot, got drawn with a Oceania squad, and they won. I think. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll do a little bit more on it. But do you think that Canada should be afraid of Suriname? Yeah, not afraid. I do still think on paper we have a better squad. I think from our opening game it was fantastic to see. But the one thing that does worry me is that the fact that the Suriname team has done fantastic. 2 games, 9 goals for, 0 goals against. They know what they're doing out there. But I don't know. I would be shocked if Canada can't see it through. But they're going to have to go out there with the right game plan. They're going to have to really see what Herdman has tactically to be able to get the right formation off, to get the right personnel on the pitch, and be able to get a complete performance. Because I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. Looking at that Bermuda, Cayman Islands, and Aruba side, man, none of the 3 are very strong. I'm very curious to see how Bermuda does against Suriname, and seeing if that match kind of gives us any idea of how Canada and the Suriname game will go. But no, I mean, they can't take it lightly by any means, because it could be a rude awakening if us 2 win all our games and go to the final and we lose, because then we'd be immediately out, and that would just be a huge damper on what is a very positive looking Canadian men's national team right now. That means 11 hours later since now. Yes, the game will be played tomorrow. I'm not a Bradley fan. I'm a Bradley fan just because, I mean, he came to TFC when TFC kind of went on that rebuild and led them to some very successful times in TFC, which was pretty cool to see. What's your thoughts on the niche TFC kits? Probably one of the best kits I've seen in the MLS. Yeah, they are good looking. I might have to pick one up. I just picked this one up, I believe, last season. It's a relatively new kit, but it is a nice kit. So I might have to pick one of those up. We'll see. I have so many different kits from all over, so I don't know. I might pick one up for opening match. We'll have to see. We're taking on Montreal in the season opener. I think that'll be a pretty fun game. The new looking the FC Montreal, but we'll see. I hope they play the youth this year for TFC. I think they will, man. They've been integrating a lot of young players into their squad, and they've been doing it very gracefully. We've seen pretty much Akinola get introduced, and he's been absolutely sensational. For me, he's the best striker on TFC that we have so far. I do like Josie Altidore, but for me, Akinola brings something a little bit different, a little bit more speed. He's an excellent finisher, and I hope that he represents Canada one day. I hope he doesn't get taken away. What do I find of Suriname? I don't know, man. They have a good team. Like I said, like if you go on YouTube and you look up what would Suriname look if any player who could represented them, they had a fantastic looking team. If I just go to their squad and take a look at some of their matches, I'm gonna go to the 6-0 one, which was played yesterday. They have a lot of players who are originally Dutch. I'm sure some of you guys might recognize, where is he? Alberg. He used to play in the MLS. Ryan Dunk is another one who plays for Galatasaray. They're pretty much a lot of the big hitters on that squad were originally a lot of them played for the Netherlands U23 squads, and they just made the transition knowing that they aren't ever going to play for the Netherlands. And yeah, you're seeing a bright talent, and that's the same kind of thing you're seeing as Jamaica. A lot of young English players who know that they're probably not going to play for the England national team. Casey Palmer, Michel Antonio have decided to represent Jamaica. So the CONCACAF in general is getting a little bit stronger for some of those reasons. We have some players as well. Ferreira, who just joined our squad, played at Portuguese U21. But it's just good. It's just good for CONCACAF in general, in my opinion. It makes the competition a lot stronger, makes the national sides a lot stronger. And if you're not going to represent, I guess, one country because maybe you're not eligible for or not able to, for example, for Ferreira, would more than likely never play for the Portuguese national team. So he made the trek on over and represented Canada. Tomorrow is going to be fun. as I hope we have more people to talk, actually. Yeah, our last watch along was a lot of fun, man. It was a huge fun. We found a lot of new viewers here on the channel. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, hopefully, some of you guys for the watch along tomorrow. Hopefully see this Canada side one last time before the international break's over. And then I just hope the Canadian men's national team starts setting up friendlies left, right, and center. Get these boys playing together as much as they possibly can. Get some chemistry going, because this team's a lot of fun to play with, man. I was so excited to see what they were like, having watched them in well over a year, and they came up with a big 5-1 victory. You saw Kyle Larin, you saw Alphonso Davies, you saw some of the class talent we got playing in Europe, and it was sensational. But I think Canada must win 100%. They do. If we want to make this national team known a little bit more worldwide, we got to make some of these big steps. And I don't think it's unrealistic to think that we can't qualify for the World Cup. I really, really don't. This is a good, solid squad. We got players playing all throughout Europe. The team is just getting better and better. And we have an absolute world-class player. World-class player. One of, if not the best players in CONCACAF, in Alphonso Davies. And you see exactly what he can do when he has a hat-trick assist like that. Finding a very informed striker, I might add as well. And yeah, it'll be insane, man. And yes, our Discord did light up. You guys, a lot of our other Discord members who were sleeping at that time because they were in Europe were surprised by the 90 new members that popped up. That was pretty funny. But Rio says Ecuador was the hottest team in South America and all qualifying games have been postponed. That is true. And Dustin, I believe, is here. And I don't know if he saw that comment, but Dustin is a big fan of Ecuador because I believe that is his background. And yeah, the Ecuador squad looked very good for South American qualifiers. And it sucks for them that it got postponed because they probably wanted to ride out that storm. I hope Canada grows. We need more competition in CONCACAF. Dustin, I absolutely agree, and I think it will. And like I said, I just touched on the fact that Jamaica, like I said, is recruiting a lot of players. Suriname, for example, as well, is a team that could have had so many talented footballers represent them, but they obviously opted to choose the Netherlands for obvious and various reasons, just because they would have more exposure to international competition. And yeah, I don't know, man, it's pretty cool. You see the Chinese doing it, but in different ways. The Chinese do it because they sign Brazilian players that give them a lot of money, get them to come over to China, and then live there for 5 years, and then they can represent the national team. That's not what we're doing, and I like that. Every player that basically is representing Canada has a background in Canada. They were either born there, they have a parent from there, and they've realized that they can't represent another team because they just maybe aren't able to, don't want to, aren't good enough, and they've opted to represent Canada, and it just helps with selection, and it's fantastic to see, and I hope it continues like Dustin said. I am Chinese in Kenya, who is doing the construction, and I love you so much. Well, thank you. I'm blushing now. In public, I'm blushing. Ivan Perisic says Davies is the best fullback in the world. Dustin, my wife. Oh, yeah, and that's another nation that is doing well. But yeah, guys, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here for today. Like I said, we were supposed to do a watch along. It got postponed, but I came with you guys for a little preview and got some nice little bits in the chat. But we got one more I'm going to address because I do like it. It says they did not choose the Netherlands. Suriname did not allow them to play back then. Whew. Fast boy, that is interesting. I wasn't sure why. I don't know too much about Suriname. I just know that I've seen various YouTube videos about people who could, like football players who could represent Suriname and what that team would look like, and it's incredible. So I guess there's a background story I might have to look up for, but it seems like maybe they're turning the tides on that and are starting to recruit a little bit more. I don't know, but this, in my opinion, is a very, very tasty looking team. But now they allow dual citizens. They definitely would choose for Suriname if they could, lol. That makes a little bit more sense. 2004 age group for Canada has really good potential players. Yes, they do, and it's good. A huge part of, obviously, any national team is recruiting young, being able to develop these players correctly, and it's amazing. And I give a huge shout-out to the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy because they've recruited some and developed some very talented young players. Obviously, Alphonso Davies comes to mind, but there is a lot more as well. Derek Cornelius is well on his way, so with that, guys, it's going to be pretty fun, man. It's going to be pretty fun. So we're going to wrap up our preview. I'm hoping to see a lot of you guys for our match watch along tomorrow. The first one was absolutely sensational. You guys showed so much support, and which is why we're doing it again. So we're hopefully seeing a big victory over Cayman Islands and give us a 2-0 record going back into club football. It's great to see all you fellow Canadians out there following their national team, and hopefully everything goes as planned and the game will be played tomorrow. So until next time, guys, if you haven't, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.